Speaking of snow, did you guys get any snow today?
Well, when Callie told me that it was snowing, I looked outside the door and I could see it falling. I didn't wasn't wasn't enough for it to stick on the ground yet. I haven't checked it since though.
We've got like maybe half an inch.
That's not bad.
That's not terrible. I went out there and cleaned off my car before everybody went to bed, so hopefully in the morning it's not bad so I can go to work. I don't feel like taking an hour and a half to go 10 miles.
I agreed. I just don't want to wake up with a surprise.
Ah, man. I just realized after everything yesterday, we didn't finish the Gundams.
It's alright. We got plenty of time.
We just got back so late because we got done with like the wine tasting and we went out to dinner afterwards. And then we picked up the kids. That still sounds weird to say. We picked up the girls and we went to one of those drive-through light shows. Like the Christmas lights where you turn on the station for the music and then you drive through and it's all Christmas lights everywhere.
That's cute.
Yeah. So we went right after we picked them up and did that. And then we got back at like 9 o'clock and then everybody was exhausted. Tired.
It's alright. I think for us, we had to go to Boston because my fraternity was having their 20th anniversary.
That's right. You told me. How was it?
It was good. It was nice seeing a lot of people that I haven't seen in years. I'm like, holy crap. And it also makes me feel old seeing some of the new guys that are in. I'm like, oh shit.
How long's it been since you got out? Since you've done your time?
God. UMass Dartmouth, the campus looks like a jail.
Oh, jeez.
It's an all cement campus. That's what it was associated with at that point.
You go and hang out in the yard.
So I think, holy shit! How long has it been since I've been to UMass? I went to UMass for like 2-3 years before I switched to BCC. So yeah, about 10 years now. So yeah,
did you have fun?
Oh yeah, nice catching up with people. Definitely confirmed that I hate Boston traffic. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, it's so fucking bad.
Sense to me, the way some of the parking lots work make no sense to me.
If it was built on a grid system, it'd be better than what it is.
I don't get the reasoning as to why they set that up that way. I know there must have been a rhyme or reason way back when, but
yeah.
What annoyed me the most was we got there like a half hour early, so and we found a parking space literally in a block walking distance from the bar that we were having the party at. I nabbed the spot. The meter thought it was going to be like downtown over here, where you max out.
Weekends are free.
When it runs out, you can reload it. No. Max it out.
No.
You cannot reload it if you want. If you have to leave the spot and find another spot in another block.
Wow.
There's
some places where meters are free on the weekend too.
Not where we were.
That sucks.
But then again, it was like it was maybe like a couple of blocks down from the garden, so that might have something to do with that.
Yeah, got to make their money.
As soon as I pulled out of that spot and was able to pull into the parking lot, I was like, screw it. $60 to park, but at least it was for the frickin' day.
Ugh. Yeah.
Have to worry about it. It was cool seeing my name on the charter. I think what else? But yeah, by the time we got back and everything was done, I think we got back here around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and was at my parents' house for like an hour or so. Mom was nice enough to make us dinner, and we got home maybe 9, 10 o'clock ish.
Oh yeah, so yesterday probably wouldn't have been good for either of us to do it.
So we were. I wasn't too upset. If you get
yeah.
Fun time. You did the thing with the girls and the wine tasting. How was the wine tasting?
It was cute. It was a really small I don't even know what you would call it. Like, it was a small shack where there were seats set up inside where you can sit in there and, like, drink wine and do whatever inside. And then they have a building outside where they're actually making the wine. And then out back are those plastic pop-up igloos.
Okay.
And they're all heated, and they have a humidifier in there. And we just hung out for like an hour and a half. We got to pick 4 different types to try, and sat there listening to Christmas music, shot the shit. They brought out chocolates and the charcuterie board and all that stuff. Got to try a bunch of different things. It was nice.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Get to relax, do your thing.
Yeah. A lot of the wines tasted pretty good. I am not a connoisseur. I don't know shit about wine, but I've discovered that I like reds. It's about as much as I can tell.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. That would make sense.
My favorite one was a Syrah.
I've never heard of a Syrah.
Okay.
No.
I just discovered the word. I don't drink a lot, so this is all new to me.
Same. I usually go with whatever. If I get wine at like Olive Garden or something like that, I usually go with whatever they suggest. I just know I like red wines more than the white wines.
Yeah. Ooh, a 74. A nice year. Got an oaky after finish. See, I don't know shit. A taste of wine and alcohol.
It tastes nice to me, and I feel buzzed. I'm good.
There you go. That's about all you need to know.
I'm a whiskey person. What do you expect?
You and me both. I don't even drink beer that often. Like for my graduation party, that was the most that I drank for a while, and even then, that was only like 2 that I had. I don't like drinking.
Agreed.
It just makes me feel like shit.
It depends on what I'm drinking. If it's
A whiskey will do it to you.
I actually feel good after drinking whiskey. If it's Southern Comfort, lately I've been drinking Screwball, Brown, or
Crown is my go-to.
Jack can kind of do it, but that might.
Gentleman Jack is probably better than regular Jack, in my opinion.
I haven't tried Gentleman Jack yet. I'll give that one a shot. I prefer more.
I think they have a honey one too. It's not bad.
No, before we cut off, I was basically just saying I had to basically for turning me on to Crown Apple for your wedding.
That's not bad. My go-to was always Crown and Coke, and then I gave up Pop. So yeah,
Downgraded to diet every so often.
baby steps.
I don't drink Coke that often. I was maybe like once in a great while.
I was gonna say something and I forgot, so I guess it wasn't important. Do we want to intro the show now that it was about a half an hour in since we were talking?
Are you serious?
Yeah, since I hit record.
Chewing the shit for that long? Okay. Yeah.
Hi, it's the Ramblepack Podcast. We didn't introduce ourselves last time
No.
either. We just said it was this, and then we laughed and kept going. So I'm
And
Adam.
Mike. If we don't introduce ourselves,
Are you
go
sure?
to a different episode. You'll find out who we are.
And I don't even think we plugged our social medias last time either, so I got to remember to do that at the end of this. We're on everything.
We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Spotify. Well, if you're listening on
Instagram,
Spotify. Yeah.
Facebook, Apple Podcast, Google. We're global, baby. All right. I told you this, but I'm going to reiterate it again. I think we need to start with that one story.
Yeah. I would like to. It's not even like he can say he's done. He doesn't learn because obviously this happened all before he got arrested the first time.
Yeah, I feel like it's a continuation of that, but like reading this story and then knowing what happened before, you kind of see it coming afterwards.
Pretty much. I just like after the second strike, I'm thinking.
Okay, we're just alluding. We're alluding to it. Why don't you start with what it is, and then we'll keep talking about it.
Well, if basically the guy we talked about last time, the creator of Sonic, Yuji Naka, arrested again. This time for investing in what the hell's the name of the company? It was the developer for the Final Fantasy mobile game, First Soldier, and that one definitely bit him in the ass whether he started trading or not, because that stock went down big time.
Well, was it not insider trading again? I admittedly didn't read everything. I just pulled the Kotaku article and saw that he was arrested again and skimmed through it.
I want to say the gist of it, if I'm remembering it correctly, it was insider trading again. He bought the stock before the announcement was made.
Mm-hmm. This one is for A-Team Entertainment.
And it was
Apparently, he was alleged to have paid almost $1 million and $51,000 for 120,000 shares of AT.
Holy shit! How big did he think this game was gonna be?
I don't know, but I guess you're working with Square Enix, so of course that's a pretty good bet. But don't be stupid.
Yeah, it's like I can see it being popular, but at the same time, I don't think they were that popular. Mobile games are hard to get into to begin with, and Square's not really known for their mobile games.
No, but it's the name. Like, when that game was announced, everybody kind of was like, what the fuck is this? But still interested in it. So it was a safe bet, but no, don't do insider trading. It gets you in trouble. As you can see, you got hit twice for doing the same shit.
Pretty much. And watch, we're going to find out. He did the same thing with the next Kingdom Hearts title, Missing Link.
That'd be something. I'm waiting. Wait till next week. Or, well, this week, I should say. Watch. We'll hear another thing come Wednesday.
Like, dude, just if he gets arrested again for another situation, just better come clean and say, listen, these are all the things I've invested in. I'm saying,
is this going to be one of those 3 strikes and you're out deal?
You should probably come clean now, to be honest, but
what more does he have to lose at this point?
I don't know.
It's like I say, you play stupid games. There we go, I can't talk again. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
And he won the biggest of the stupid.
Biggest of the stupid.
What surprised me most about that article was because I tried the game when it first came out, right? Yep. It gave me the same kind of feel that the Diablo mobile game did. It was kind of hard to control because it was a mobile game. But I'm surprised that it shut down a year. They shut it down a year and a half later. But I still have it on my phone.
Probably just no one playing it. I'm sure they had a huge influx of people playing it at first when it came out, but after that,
it was alright. It's just not a big thing. I'm sure it wasn't like a big, or at least in my area, there wasn't a big following because that's the issue with the game.
I think they missed the boat on it. It just came. Battle royales were huge, and that's basically what the game was. And then you're fighting a losing battle on that front, and then plus it's a mobile title. You're kind of hitting yourself twice.
It's pulling the people you face against in the battle royale. It's pulling it from your local pool. If you're in an area where
that makes it even worse.
So if you're in an area where not many people play, you're kind of fucked. So it's a good thing it's a free to play game.
I mean, if they put AI people in it, it might give it some kind of life, but yeah, probably not enough people to support it.
I want to say that was the issue that I had with Pokemon Go when it first came out. Even though, like, in the city part, there were...
Well, that one you don't need people for it.
No, but at the same time, like, where the population were, especially with the stops and stuff like that, I was living at my parents' house. You know where they are. They're, like, in the middle. It's still the city, but it's in the woods area, so there's no stops or anything like that.
Right. Yep. That was our problem here, too.
So you couldn't do shit from home. Whereas if you're in the city area, there were more people, and they catered more towards the populace.
There's everything on there. On the mobile front, Vampire Survivors came to mobile. It's a free download. And they're finally putting out a paid DLC. Well, I say finally, but it feels really quick, because that game just came to Xbox October, and they're already making a paid DLC. Want to know how much it is? Whole $2. Breaking the bank. But I'm excited. I've got like half the achievements on the Xbox so far, and I'm still working on it. But they're adding, for only $2, they're adding a bunch of stuff. It's called Legacy of the Moonspell, and they've added a new large stage. Like, it's huge in all directions, because the free DLC they put out recently was just a bridge that you go left or right, and realistically you're only going right. This one, it's a gigantic stage. And it's based off like a castle too, I think. But besides that, they're adding 6 new songs, 8 new survivors, 13 new weapons, and a bunch of new monsters. And it's releasing on the 15th. So now they're vying for my love of The Witcher 3 and Vampire Survivors. So I don't know which one I'm going to play.
There's going to be a lot of choices this holiday season.
I'm going to be... And Destiny 2's new season just came out. It's only a week old now, so I'm like, what am I going to do? There's not enough time.
As long as you're liking it, screw it. What the hell?
I need more time. There's too much shit to play.
More time, get rid of sleep.
I don't get enough as it is. I need sleep.
Sleep is for the weak. Just furious. Go intravenous with the coffee.
Jeez, might have to.
Speaking of updates, so Mario Kart 8 got a free update. Lets you pick and choose the weapons for offline gameplay.
Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere because they've been putting out their booster pack DLCs. I don't know if you know about that. Like, it was announced at the not E3 thing, like their Nintendo showcase. They're putting out, I want to say 64 tracks from like all the old Mario Karts into this, like spread across a bunch of different booster packs. And they're only up to number 3 so far, and then in between this, they threw out this episode. They threw out this update. But yeah, I guess in offline races and certain online ones, you can predetermine what items are in the boxes. And I've seen a lot of videos floating around about just blue shells. That's it, in races. So, of course, you see someone getting hit with like 6 at a time.
Oh, shit. That's insult to injury right there. Fuck.
It looks fun,
though. Do straight...
Probably get frustrated.
Races with just bullet bills and see what happens.
That would be funny. A lot of people were excited at the fact that you can turn off coins too, because I get that it's like a shitty item to pick up, but if you're in first place, what are your options? Right. What I think they need to do is do the I don't remember what it's called. I think it's I'm not even going to take a guess because I don't remember. It's how Mario Kart 8's the title of it is the 8 is like an infinity symbol, and that's an item in the game where it gives you like one of every item basically. Turn that item on and bananas only, and then just do the entire race with just bananas.
Jesus.
That'd be fun.
Chaos.
Because then you get like 8 or 10 bananas at a time. You just start chucking them. So I want you to tell me if you know anything about Crisis Core, because they're the remake for Final Fantasy VII. What was it called out before? Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Okay, so the remake just came out, it's coming out. No, it did. It's coming out on the 13th. Some of the reviews are in already, I guess. It's sitting at a 79 average. I don't know jack shit about it, so maybe you can tell me.
Yeah. Brief overview. It's supposed to be the story of Zack,
right?
And what happened before the events of 7.
See, this is all new to me too, because I didn't know that there was something before that. I just knew from 7, Cloud had like memories that weren't his, and he thinks that he's this person, but he's not, or something like that.
Right, exactly. Jesus Christ, I'm a bad fan. I'm having a hard time remembering the exact storyline here. He gets his mixed in with Zack's and stuff like that. But Crisis Core basically expands that. It lets people explore that of the game.
So it's a literal prequel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It was cool. It was cool to play. I liked it. It was one of the main reasons why I got a PSP. Well, the original reason I got a PSP at the time was when by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep came out. I got that bundle pack immediately after I got Crisis Core.
Of course. God damn it! You did it again. You brought up Kingdom Hearts.
That's how I got it.
But it's like every episode, it's just like, hey, Kingdom Hearts this. I got Kingdom Hearts that. I'm going to talk about that for a second. You always do it.
Listen, 90% of I get a new system now. It's either for a new installment of Kingdom Hearts. Previously to Kingdom Hearts, it was because of Pokemon. Only reasons I would get a new console. It was. I liked the flow of the game. It was pretty cool. It was a little weird finding out about the other characters. Not to spoil it too much if you plan on playing it. So trying to make sense of that was a little weird. Trying to think. From what I'm reading on the articles, it's supposedly one of the best remasters Square has done of their games. If that's the case, I'm
Not a remaster, remake.
No.
Remastering basically is just like upgrading the graphics and making it run better on newer systems. Remaking is taking the game and changing up how it plays and adding new stuff to it. It's basically they went the Final Fantasy VII route with it.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to be a remaster. Okay.
No, the combat in this is basically Final Fantasy VII's combat. The remake, I should say.
Okay. Well, the first one, the first Crisis Core wasn't too far off from that system to begin with, so that's not bad. I really need to look at that then. Holy crap! Shame on me.
You're good. I forgive you.
No, but it was fun. It definitely makes me wanna try. If I'm able to get it, I'll definitely get it to see how this new one is. I just don't want to get stuck behind a paywall like 7 was, where they were gonna break it up across multiple installments.
I'm basically waiting for episodes.
Pretty much, and where I'm kind of forced to get a PS5 to play the next installment. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. I love 7, but I don't love it much right now.
I think Crisis Core is just its own standalone thing, so you don't have to worry about that.
Right, exactly. If is it available for is it going to be available for the PS5? I mean PS4?
Good question. I don't know. It's not something I looked into.
Mm-hmm.
You taking a peek?
Basically. Crisis Core.
While you are looking that up, I got a question for you. Some of the other stories from this week are kind of meaty. Do you want to go over the Game Awards and like some of the trailers first and then talk about the heavier topics, or do you want to do that first and then finish off with the Game Awards?
Well, we mentioned the Game Awards last time, so let's get that at least get that done this episode. Okay. The remake of the Crisis Core is on PS4, 5, Switch,
okay.
And
I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's on the Switch. Well, yeah, that makes sense too. I imagine it's not like a super heavy game.
No, not at all. Because we also have to remember the original was on a PSP, so the graphics wasn't. It was pretty enough for the smaller screen. So I'm assuming. No, you're saying it's a remake, so they got to do everything from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
Have to check that out.
So before we get into the Game Awards, there's a couple other things that I want to run through. Since Fortnite's new season started, have you seen anything about it? Like screenshots or videos or anything?
I've seen snippets. I know the new season is they're doing a collab with Hero Academia.
I didn't even know that. I just know that they've got Doomslayer and Geralt from Witcher in there.
Ooh.
But in this new update, they made the switch from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5. And boy, does it look pretty. Man, I mean, besides Epic, like basically owning Unreal and having the know-how on using it, dude, there is such a big jump in graphical fidelity with that game. It looks so good. I don't even like Fortnite or playing it, but it's a pretty game now.
I'm liking. That's what I'm liking about a lot of the trailers. I'm noticing that just the jump from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5, so much better. I'm definitely liking the way it's turning out.
I can't wait to see other games utilize it and see what they can do. It's exciting. Do you know anything about Valorant or Riot?
This Riot sound familiar.
They make League of Legends.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay. So they have essentially a hero shooter called Valorant that's been out for a year, I believe. a year or two at this point. I want to say a year, probably longer. I just realized that they are suing NetEase over a quote-unquote clone of their game.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you know anything about NetEase?
No, jack squat.
Okay. They're a publisher for the Chinese company Hyperfront. They do a lot of mobile shooters. So basically, this is from Polygon, just so you know, because I didn't do a lot of research. I just read through this. It's kind of crazy. The lawsuit itself varies a little bit from like each country, but because it's based on certain copyright laws and where it's being distributed. But Hyperfront, like Valorant, is a free-to-play shooter on mobile, on PC, and it just pits teams of 5 against each other like usual. But a lot of the characters and things in each game, or I should say in Hyperfront, seems like it was directly ripped from Valorant, like abilities and character stats and things like that, I guess.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, right here it says, in the UK lawsuit, it specifically says characters, maps, weapons, weapon skins, and charms. And even going as far as comparing weapon stats.
Jesus, so it's not even like they're trying to hide it.
Well, probably not, but it says also that the studio claims in the lawsuit that NetEase did modify Hyperfront slightly after Riot's first complaints. And then they have like pictures to show the changes from before and after, but it still hinges on infringement.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, protect your assets, but if you don't, this is, I'm tripping over my words here. This is not the first time like another Chinese company has done that either. There's been a handful who have ripped like Pokemon assets to make games. Like Pokemon Go, there was a bunch of clones from that, and like basically ripped off assets from that to build their own. That was one of the more like talked about ones when it first came out. But there's been a handful of like mobile, let me try and say this, mobile MOBAs, or like even PC MOBA type games. There's a lot of them that rip assets from other games, or like this is that game with different assets and different things, but it's the exact same thing in every other way.
Just like with this one, or at least my interpretation of this is they don't try to hide it at all. Like you see,
Doesn't seem like
you
it.
see the advertisements on the websites, and they all look the exact same thing. It's like minor tweaks or whatnot.
You tweak it a little bit, and you can get away with copyright. All right, I guess that's the belief, at least.
I'm torn as to how to say my opinion on this. Like, I agree that it's copyright infringement, but at some point, what is
like where's the line?
Look at main title games. They're not very different. So how are you okay with main title games that do basically the same shit versus this type of shit?
I don't know. That's all I wanted to touch on. You want to go over the Game Awards now?
Yes.
Okay. I don't care about all the awards that were put out. There's just a handful of like game specific ones that were interesting. I don't care about esports team, esports coach, social media person of the year, or anything like that.
In fairness of that list, I only knew one person. That was Ludwig. That was about it. I've heard his name.
He won.
Heh. That's probably why.
So there you go. So you probably already read through it, but I'm gonna say if you didn't, who do you think won Game of the Year, or do you know the?
Well, answer? I know now because now that you told me that was in bold. I'm surprised. Well, not surprised because it's a good game, but old.
It had a lot more reach. Elden Ring won Game of the Year. Between them and everybody else that were on the list, like the biggest ones were going to be A Plague Tale, Elden Ring, and God of War for sure. But Elden Ring just had the reach and the staying power, which is kind of crazy considering throughout that night, God of War took 6 awards.
Yeah. I just find it crazy that like almost everything is just a repeat of everybody. God of War,
Basically.
Rings, Horizon.
So yeah, best game direction was Elden Ring also, which is kind of surprising to me. I thought God of War was really going to win that one. Elden Ring's a solid game. Best narrative, God of War. No surprise. This one I thought was really cool, and I'm not surprised at this one, and I'm happy. Best art direction was Elden Ring as well.
It's a very pretty game.
Dude, the architecture design in that game alone is really something else. Just going around and checking out the different landscapes and castles that they built and swamps and forests and all that stuff, it's nuts. It was a great game. So I'm going to ask you sometimes, have you gone through the entire list?
I've scrolled over it. Like some of them that I just, like you, didn't really care for some of the titles. I just like scrolled past it.
Okay. So take a guess who won best score in music. Without looking.
No, I'm just trying to see who the nominees were.
A Plague Tale, Elden Ring, God of War, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles.
I would have to say either Elden Ring or God of War.
You gotta pick one. Right now. You gotta do it right now. The mic didn't pick it up. Say it again.
God of War.
Yes, you got it. Easy enough. All right, basically for the same ones. Best audio design. But this time we got Call of Duty, Elden Ring, God of War, Gran Turismo, and Horizon.
We'll God of War again.
Yes. Do you see a trend here? Ready? Best performance. We got 2 people from God of War in this one, so let's see if you can figure this one out. We've got Ashley Birch for playing Aloy in Horizon. We got Charlotte McBurney for a Plague Tale. Christopher Judge and Sonny Suljic from God of War. That's 2 people. And Manon Gage for Immortality. So who do you think won that one?
I know none of these people, so I couldn't tell you.
It's basically all the main people. God of War specifically, Christopher Judge played Kratos, and Sonny Suljic played Atreus.
It was Sonny, because for some reason I want thinking it was them.
I'll give you half right. It was God of War, but it was Christopher Judge that won Best Performance.
Shit, okay.
Yep. He had like a long speech, which it was great. It was really heartfelt and it was sincere. It was a good speech, but they had to play him off the stage so they could keep the show rolling. And then, what's his face? Jeff Keighley was like speed reading everything to catch up with his timing because he didn't want to go over on anything and miss anything. So afterwards, he was just like, "I gotta talk fast and get through the shit." So blah 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 blah. I'm like, well, if you work in time to give people the time they need to give speeches, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Oh, here's a fun one. Best ongoing game. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, or Genshin Impact.
Oh my god! I would love to give love to Final Fantasy 14 because it was a fun game. For some reason, it's making me think it's Destiny 2.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You need like the music and the lights coming down on you.
I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna regret it.
Destiny 2 is your final answer? You should have went with your gut. It was Final Fantasy 14.
That I didn't feel loyal, but yes, Final Fantasy 14 was a fun game. Didn't get very far in the storyline, but it is a fun game.
Do you play before or after they changed everything?
I don't remember. I want to say it was in the last couple. Oh, you mean before they axed the world and rewrote it and made it part of the storyline?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because that's when it actually got good and everybody loved the game.
Oh yeah, it was after, because it was I got it just before we bought the house. It was a 50%. It was a sale where it was like 50% off for the game, and I got like a free month of subscription with it. And I tried it out. I liked the game, but I didn't play often enough to justify continuing the monthly subscription.
Yeah, I gotcha.
My only gripe with that game is that it's a monthly subscription. If I could pay a year at a reasonable price, I'll do it. Easier to do that than just not pay a monthly fee and then just regret it by not playing it. You know.
I mean, you're still basically doing that just in a lump sum format.
Yeah, but at least in the lump sum format, I'm just like,
you don't have to worry about it month to month.
Right, exactly. It's not like, for some reason in my head, doing the month to month, if I don't play it to justify paying it the monthly, I'm like,
basically wasting money.
Whereas if you pay it off for the year, like, all right, I just paid it off for the year. Maybe this month I might not do play it long, but maybe the next month I'll play it extra, type of thing.
Okay. All right. Best indie game. Do you remember us talking about Cult of the Lamb?
I think so. Refresh me on what that one was.
You're a lamb forming a cult. It's by Devolver Digital.
I do not remember that one.
All right, that's fine. And then we got Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic.
Gotta give it to Tunic.
Close. It was Stray. The game where you're a cat.
Are you serious? I said I never played it, but it looks stupid. I'm sorry if anybody's a fan of Stray. The trailer and the concept looks stupid. I'm sorry.
Oh, here's a fun one. Best mobile game. Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, or Tower of Fantasy.
Torn between Genshin and Marvel Snap.
Go with your gut.
Genshin.
Ooh, Marvel Snap got it.
Serious? Didn't that just come out?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep. Here's a cool one, too. Best community support. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, or No Man's Sky.
Ooh.
Makes you wonder.
Oh, the Final Fantasy 14 community is big, but... shit. I gotta go with No Man's Sky.
You should have went with your first thought, probably Final Fantasy 14. Jeez. Put a hole in your desk, why don't you?
Oh my
god. Innovation for accessibility. God of War took that, which was cool. They added I think we talked about it too. They added a lot of stuff for accessibility purposes in that game. So, in my opinion, they deserve that. I bet you can guess this one. I was a little sad at what didn't win. Best action game. Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which I would argue that's a shooter, not really an action game, but sure. Neon White, Sifu, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. Which one do you think I wanted to win?
It might be torn between Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Bayonetta. You said you had Bayonetta there. For some it's got to go to Modern Warfare. Not because I think they deserve it, but
It stands out to you?
yeah, it always seems to be that type of game.
Bayonetta 3 won.
Freaking God.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, was it your turtles?
It's all good. That game was fun. I'm not surprised, though. Bayonetta 3 is a pretty large game. I was going to say I don't even have to read these, but I might. But just take a guess. Best action/adventure game. What do you think won?
On the list.
Just take a guess. What do you think it is? Without even looking at the list. Based on the main 3 ones that are usually on every list. Say it again. Mike didn't pick
God
it up.
of War.
Yes. Easy. This one might throw you. Best role-playing game. Elden Ring? Live Alive or Live Alive? Pokemon Legends Arceus? Triangle Strategy? Or Xenoblade Chronicles 3? Best role-playing game.
Pokemon.
Nope. Elden Ring.
I really need to go with my gut from now on.
Oh, here's something me and Megan both got excited about. Best family game? Kirby and the Forgotten Land one.
Hey!
All of us love that here, and I know you played it for a minute, but it won, so I was like, yeah, that's cool.
It's a cool game. I like it. The fact that that Amelia was excited about it, so I can see why it won.
Yeah, I'm running through the rest of the list. Yeah, that's about it. It's all the exciting ones. There's a lot of pretty cool ass trailers and news that came out from the Game Awards, though.
You're very pretty, especially a certain game.
Yeah,
It's making me want to get the PS5 sooner than later.
Mm-hmm. Spit it out. What is it?
Fantasy 16 looks so pretty.
That game looks crazy.
Yes, it does. And
Here's a question for you. Based on that trailer, have you ever seen an actual chocobo death?
no.
So that's the first
time
time?
I've ever seen a chocobo die. I don't think you kill a chocobo.
Yeah, me too. I don't think so either. Were they ever like an enemy, or like is there an evil version of a chocobo? Because I am not well versed in Final Fantasy.
Not that I'm aware of, because the chocobos are like they show up in battles. Yes,
You ride them.
they show up in battles so you can try and catch them. The second you attack them, they run away. They don't actually like die.
Right.
Oh. That's the main ones. You don't kill the Mogs or Moogles. You don't kill the cat. You don't kill kids, and you don't kill chocobos. Out of the 3, presumably they did in the trailer.
There's another trailer that shows that kid doesn't die. He actually, like, I guess all the main characters in each of the realms of that game, they all inhabit or can call on a summon spirit. Like, how the main character that they're showing off for 16 is like, his is Ifrit. That kid's is, I want to say his is Rama.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. Because, like, that guy goes to kill him and, like, he goes into, like, whatever trance and then lightning starts coming down. So that kid's okay, but that chocobo ain't. But yes, that game looks
In the
awesome.
trailer, I was very surprised. You don't see that either.
What's that?
They showed the amount of blood that they showed in that trailer. You don't see that in Final Fantasy trailers at all.
Yeah, there was a couple different articles that were pointing out this game is getting an M rating, I think, because there's hate crimes in that game. There's blood. There's a whole bunch of violence.
Holy
and
shit! So this is not a family-friendly game like the.
Now they ain't holding back on this one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not.
it's gonna be fun.
Sure, but you guarantee you're not seeing these characters on Cydia. I mean,
Nope.
kids that have no idea who the hell they are.
One cool game that was shown off too at the Game Awards that I'm excited about was Hades 2.
That looks awesome.
Yes, the first Hades game was amazing, and I'm not a big roguelike fan, but like they did a lot of things to kind of simplify it and make it a little bit easier for people who are not the biggest fans or it's hard for them to get into it. So the fact, and not to mention, Supergiant Games does not make sequels. They make one game, move on to the next one, and put it out, and they always hit. They're great games every time they come out. I loved Bastion. Transistor was great. Like those are just some of the top two that I can think of right now. And Hades, like that's one of their best-selling games of all time. And obviously, that probably spurred them on to make the second one. Because anytime they put it out anywhere, that's all anybody played for the better part of that year when it came out. So for them to actually want to make a sequel to it and actually do it is a big deal.
I agree. No. That trailer looked very pretty. It's definitely different from the type of games that I look at. I think that's a pretty interesting, fresh take on things. For me, anyways. Sure, there are other games that are similar in style, but I would definitely give it a shot.
I would recommend doing so. It's a great game. I want to know your take on Death Stranding 2 on that trailer, because you were making some comments watching it.
I'm going to preface this with I've never played the original game, so I don't. There's some of that.
Neither have I.
I'm assuming some of that stuff makes sense in the scope of the game, but
I did a lot of reading on the story and the characters and I guess the world, and even the trailer didn't make sense to me, so I don't know.
I'm like, first you see a kid die, or appear to have died, attack, and then a baby growing out of the lady's nose, and then it's materializing in a tube, and then the end.
Well, the babies are called BBs, and they're in those containers to basically help you not die. Like it's a link between some other world. Like if you die, it's supposed to be able to keep you alive or bring you back or something like that. So, spoilers, I guess, for the trailer, even though they showed it, is so the woman broke the baby out of the container and was raising it. Nobody ever did that in the first game. They were basically a utility, so the fact that she took it out and was raising it is like, ooh, what's going on now?
Wait, that baby is her?
No, that baby's not her. They use those things to survive,
Okay.
I guess. And you never see them outside of those containers.
What the hell's with the tentacles at the end?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Fucked up shit going on.
Oh, we got another trailer for Cyberpunk's DLC, Phantom Liberty. And you see who's going to be in it as the new character for it?
Remember you telling me about it, and I am surprised.
I know, but it's exciting.
I'm sure.
Idris Elba's playing a guy called Solomon Reed, and he's your main point of contact in that, or in the DLC.
I need to stop being so surprised with the stuff that he's been doing lately, because there are movies and this is actually the first game I've seen him in.
Same here. That's what surprised me the most about that.
I wouldn't have pictured him doing Hobbs and Shaw. I wouldn't have pictured him doing
Yeah.
Dark Tower. Yeah. At least doing the Thor movies makes sense since he did the first one. Outside of that, some of the choices, I think he's a comic book fan, or he's a geek at heart, like everybody.
Maybe. But it was cool to see him pop up. I'm like, oh, this is piquing my interest. He's a handsome dude.
Hopefully they used him well. I'm sure.
Just from the little things that they showed, yeah. Cyberpunk stories and stuff. Just like the Witcher 3 stories and quests were engrossing, so are the quests in Cyberpunk. That's what I love the most about it, was just exploring and doing the quests and learning about stuff. So I got high hopes for this one. But funny enough, I noticed that they didn't put out a release date for the DLC at all this time. So they're probably just going to be quiet and work on it until they got it to a place where they like and then put it out.
Smart move.
Yeah. Considering how borked the launch was, yeah. Probably a better idea.
Teaser, but we're not gonna screw the pooch this time. What I liked.
Anything else?
No, I was gonna say what I saw that looked really pretty was Tekken 8.
Yes.
We had
the trailer alone was pretty cool, but it's so pretty.
I just find it funny that a few podcasts ago we were talking about how they were alluding to it in video that they posted a while back, but they didn't actually say that it is. And now that we get this, I'm like, yeah.
Oh man, I forgot to tell you too. Just before they were showing this, on Twitter they put out a video of Harada sitting in a chair, like the game director or maker of Tekken. He was, oh man, I can't remember what he was doing, but they were showing snippets of things here and there for Tekken, and there were some words that flashed by, and he's sitting in the chair and he goes, "Don't ask me for shit." And before he said shit, they cut to like Tekken 8 or Save the Date or whatever. I was like, yeah, that's good marketing.
That is awesome. I gotta love when companies come out with that type of stuff.
Any other trailer stand out to you?
The Kevin Conroy for Suicide Squad. That was cool.
The little in memoriam thing was cute. It was cool of them to do that during the Game Awards. And like I was saying, I feel like having Batman in that game would have been a surprise. But since he passed away, I feel like it's cool that they show that that's his basically final voice acting role for the game.
Absolutely.
As like a little tribute.
And I think the fact that it's a good marketing ploy too. As I don't mean to like for it to sound bad.
I give
bad, yeah. People are.
I feel like if people knew that he was in the game, they would wonder if it was Kevin Conroy or not doing the voice. So, like, having that kind of confirmation would be like, okay, it's in good hands.
Right, because then they don't say anything, and then you play the game, and oh, cool, that's a cool little thing. I didn't know he did this before he passed away. At least people knowing that this is his last thing playing Batman drive more in sales, I would think, as well.
Probably.
Only correct with the trailer is when he says his furries. It was a little. They rushed him a little bit on the "I am Batman" part. Have to drag it out. Let him drag it out.
Maybe you should be a director. So, did you check out the trailer for Judas?
No, I didn't have a chance to. How was it?
Oh my god, that is like one of... Oh, dude, oh my god, you just have to watch it. So for anyone who doesn't know or had followed, Irrational Games kind of went under a change, and now they're called Ghost Story Games. And that's the same company that was under Ken Levine, who was the original creator of BioShock. He went on to he's making this game called Judas, and this has been 4 or 5 years in the making. He has been radio silent, hasn't told anything about it, hasn't shown anything about it, nothing. Anything that I say will not do this trailer justice.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it the other day. I'm like, why does it sound so familiar? Let's see if I can get...
That's all I have to say is you just gotta watch it.
Yeah, because that's supposed to be coming out in the next year, right?
Maybe. There was no date shown or anything. I hope so soon, though. That's all I can say. I want to play that game.
Ooh, it looks pretty.
And they also showed, while you're watching that, I'll keep going on. They showed Diablo 4's another cinematic from it, and of course, Blizzard doesn't miss on their cinematics. It was nice. I think that game's actually coming out in June, too. I think they showed a release date for it. I want to say it was June. And we finally get a sequel to Star Wars Jedi. Well, I wonder if that's the actual name. Because it was Jedi Star Wars... Fuck me. Star Wars Jedi Outcast. And now I'm second guessing myself. I don't know if that's right. I want to say yes.
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm a Star Wars fan, but
I have the game too, and I'm second guessing myself on it. Anyway, they have a new trailer and game coming out soon called Jedi Survivor. Cal's back, and he's much older. And they showed off some gameplay where he's got new moves and new lightsabers and different fighting styles, and he doesn't have his poncho anymore.
Because I've never tried any of the Star Wars games because I don't know what it is. I'm a Star Wars fan. I love the movies, but I won't try the games because I have a feeling it would ruin it for me. Or if I dislike the game, it would ruin the franchise for me.
And I was wrong. It's not Outcast. I knew that was a different one. I'm fucking stupid. It's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay.
That was after they hunted down all the Jedi.
Makes sense. Okay.
But that game, if you didn't know, was originally... I keep saying originally. It was owned by EA, like the title of it, and it was handed to the people who made Apex. Originally, the people who made Titanfall. And even stepping back further, they made Call of Duty before.
Yeah, because they switched it. It switched over from EA because EA dropped the ball, didn't they?
Well, this company is under EA, and they gave them the title and was like, here, make this game. And boy, did they make it. It was excellent. It's a Souls-like game, but it's light on that. But that's kind of like the style of the game. But Star Wars-y. It's really cool. So the fact that it's getting a sequel is hype.
If there's an installment I should jump in on and not have to worry about it so much ruining Star Wars for me, probably be this one.
No, not at all. It's an adjacent story. It's worth trying.
I'll take your word for it. You haven't led me wrong yet.
I like to think that I give good recommendations, but I realize that a lot of those are based on my own likes. So you saw the trailer for Judas just now?
It's pretty. We didn't see a lot, but it is pretty.
Yeah. And there's so much crazy shit going on that you just want to know more about it.
Much, and yeah, it definitely looks like BioShock a lot.
Right? That's what I thought too. As soon as they showed the hand flipping open and her putting something in it and closing it, I'm like, is this a new BioShock game? And then they showed all the other stuff. I'm like, oh, that's why.
Hopefully it's not too much like BioShock that you can't tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. Yeah, I fully want to try it.
That's basically it, I guess, for the Game Awards. So, question for you is, where do you want to start with these other two? Or I guess other three? Yeah, other three.
Yeah. Xbox seems to have a lot of news lately.
Some good, some not so good.
First one is, let's go with the most surprising thing. Xbox making a deal with Nintendo for Call of Duty?
Yeah. Did we... I don't remember if we mentioned this or not. I feel like it's an older story, but it just happened too. They're basically making a 10-year commitment to, like they want to do with Sony, to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. They're doing that with Nintendo and Steam as well.
Yeah, I don't think we never talked about it with Nintendo. I would have been I'm very surprised about it now, let alone have been surprised then.
Yeah, given Nintendo's penchant for nice, fun family games and not a lot of gory shit or shooters in general, yeah, they're extending that 10-year contract to them and Steam. And what's cool is Gabe Newell of Steam was like, that's cool that they're doing that for us, but we don't need to. They've kept their word on stuff, and they've worked with us to bring their games to Steam. They don't need to do that for us. We trust them. I forget what he said in a statement, too, but he basically threw shade at Epic and Tim Sweeney.
I I don't think I read that part though. But for the most part, I think it's a good idea as far as them putting their money where their mouth is, where they were talking about wanting to make sure things are available across platforms and not like.
Yeah, it's showing these regulators that they're serious about their commitments and they're wanting to keep it multi-platform rather than just bringing it in-house and keeping it on Xbox.
Right, exactly. Which, as long as it's not like smoke and mirrors type of thing, then I'm all for it. I'm just curious as to how, and the article that you linked brought it, touched on that too. It's if they are able to do this, will the Switch be able to handle Call of Duty?
Good question. I'm gonna say maybe, but like they might have to downgrade the graphics, because Control came out to the Switch as well, and that's a pretty graphics intensive game. But the way that it came out to the Switch was that it's a cloud version of the game. So basically you're just streaming the game to the Switch to play it, so that way it doesn't have to keep all that stuff on the Switch and get bogged down. So I'm wondering if they did that, if they could do that with Call of Duty as well. Especially considering Call of Duty's game sizes are 100 plus gigs big.
I don't see that happening just because of the... Isn't the biggest issue with the cloud streaming is like the delay in responsiveness?
That's usually the issue, yeah. But I've not played a cloud version of a game on the Switch yet to really see what it's like, so I can't really speak to that.
Then, I don't know. I can see that being an issue, especially because of the nature of the game. Especially in the with the multiplayer facet to it. And you try to make that flat. And being able to play against people from other platforms as well, I don't see that being very well unless they can come up with a solution for it.
It makes you wonder if they know something about some new Switch hardware, maybe. Or I should say Nintendo hardware or something.
Maybe.
There have been plenty of rumors about like a Switch 2 or a new piece of hardware for Nintendo coming out, but Nintendo keeps saying, nah, we're focused on the Switch, so who knows? We'll see. Along those same lines, though, talking about the 10-year commitment and bringing Call of Duty to other things, the FTC is now suing to block the acquisition.
What is their reasoning behind it, though?
Because they purport that Microsoft was untruthful about their plans to bring ZeniMax games to other platforms as well. Basically, they didn't follow through with what they said before, where they said, we're going to keep games from ZeniMax and Bethesda on other systems. Which, I actually have the statement that they put out, and they did follow through with their stuff. Let me find the excerpt, and I'll read it to you really quick. In its merger notice to the European Commission on ZeniMax, Microsoft stated, Microsoft will honor all of ZeniMax's obligations to continue to make its current games available on other gaming hardware, including 2 planned console-exclusive releases for the Sony PlayStation 5, Deathloop, and Ghostwire Tokyo, which those came out on PlayStation still with no problem, and Deathloop came out on Xbox a year or two later. It further stated, Microsoft will not make any existing ZeniMax games exclusive to Xbox. They will continue to be available for purchase for PCs and other gaming hardware for which they are currently available, which will ensure that they continue to be available to current players of those games. Microsoft will not be removing players' access to any of the current games no matter where they currently play. That is true. Those games are still available there. After the closing of the acquisition, Microsoft honored ZeniMax's commitment of the first 2 games released, which was Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop. Those did come out on PlayStation and stayed exclusive. Well, timed exclusives, I should say. They came out to Xbox afterwards. As a result, gamers on Xbox could not play Deathloop until September 20th, 2022, when it could be made available for individual purchase on Game Pass 1 year after it launched on the PlayStation 5, and Ghostwire Tokyo remains unavailable on Xbox per Sony's restriction.
Okay.
For future games, Microsoft also maintained its position. In its merger notice to the European Commission to ZeniMax, Microsoft stated future decisions on whether to distribute ZeniMax games for other consoles will be made on a case-by-case basis, taking into account player demand and sentiment. Factors that will inform Microsoft's decision-making on future games include consumer demand and preference, and the willingness of third parties to work with Microsoft to launch games for their devices. So they're not keeping them in-house and saying, no, you can't. It's based on who wants them and how.
Right. I can trying to think of what the FTC is.
Them suing.
No, I was going to say is I want to know what their line of thinking is at that point. If that's the case, that
they're worried about it becoming monopoly, and they're using this as an excuse. Also, following in Sony's footsteps, saying they're going to do this, despite Microsoft keeps saying no, we're not. Here's what we're actually trying to do with you, and working with them as much as they can. Even with this, it doesn't exactly stop. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I was going to say I could see the courts. The first, as soon as they hear it, they're going to be like, "This is a non-issue." Then we're going to throw this out. You have no grounds at that point.
You would hope so, but it looks like if this acquisition happens, it's not going to be until 2024.
Yeah.
And even then, like, them suing doesn't necessarily stop it or negate it, and it hasn't slowed down anything either. I think they would have to file an injunction to actually have it stop, just like everything, pump the brakes and wait. But because they haven't, it's still going on, and it's going to continue to work on having them acquire them so long as everything else is square.
Right.
So we'll see. If anything, this just extends waiting.
That's a lot of things lately.
Yeah. That's a lot of talking.
Let's see.
Oh, here's something I was kind of surprised at, but I'm not. I'm kind of glad that Xbox did this. Apparently, they told developers that they can't charge for next-gen upgrades from their current-gen games as an alternative to Xbox's smart delivery. So basically what that means is Xbox has a thing on their systems that kind of up-res the graphics and make it better. And companies who make these upgrades for these games available will do it for free through their system rather than having to make you pay for it. Companies have gotten around that by just making an entire new version of the game and then putting it out themselves, and then you have to buy that new version of the game. Looking at you, Rockstar, with GTA 5.
That makes sense. I don't see.
Do you think that you should pay for a next-gen upgrade from PS4 to PS5?
Absolutely not. Especially if you bought the game right away. It's how is it your fault? It goes back to what we were talking about. Granted, my example, or like buying the downloadable content on the PS3 and then having to rebuy it again on the PS4. It's older games. Why should I have to do that? I already purchased it. How is it my fault that the new system came out? Or when example, when Destiny allowed you could play your character either on the 3 or the 4 same time, and this progress would remain the same up until a certain date, and then they would segue. You had to make the decision to port it over. They charge you extra for it. You just let you do it. That makes sense. It's not your fault that's what was happening.
Yep. So companies just got around that by putting it all on one version of the game and saying, "Well, here's the new version of it for the next gen consoles," and was like, "You want it? You buy it here." Now, a lot of those you can port the stuff over from the previous version to that one. It just wouldn't have like the new fancy graphics and stuff. I don't know if there's really much more we can say about it.
shady shit if you're charging people for the same shit.
I mean, it's their way to get around it to make more money. Like I said, GTA 5 is the prime example.
They don't make enough from microtransactions.
Oh, they make money hand over fist with those things. Anyway. So did you read up on the Days Gone director and his statements?
Oh, what was going on with him?
So the director, do you remember the game? I think I talked to you when we were building the Gundams the other day. The game Days Gone, the one with the freakers and the biker dude.
Yeah, where he was where he was blaming woke culture for how bad the game was received, and the company he actually worked for turned around and said, "Hey, we're not supporting any of his statements. He's wrong."
Yeah. So he came out and was complaining that the game didn't sell well and didn't hit its marks that he was expecting it to because of quote-unquote woke reviewers, like you were saying, and tech issues. Which there were tech issues, and the game was delayed multiple times while they were working on them in general. And I think there was still some even when the game came out. But that was him bitching and complaining about it. But at least the studio came out and made a statement saying, yeah, he might think that, but we don't. We're proud of our product, and fuck you.
Much. I'm like, screw, own up to it. If the game didn't do well, it didn't do well.
Yeah, and
okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say at this point, I'm kind of tired of the excuse woke culture or people being snowflakes and shit like that. I'm like, listen, shut the fuck up. People
yeah, it's tiring to hear, but
you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. Get over it. Sink.
I don't remember if this is the same guy or the other one that was making the game with him too. They bemoaned the game's sales too at the start, saying that it sold so well and they didn't get money to make a sequel for whatever reason. Like they were complaining about it. It was like, we sold like 5 million units or something like that, and they were looking at the wrong numbers. So they got all their information wrong.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and they put this out like on social media and whatever, so everybody read it and saw it. It's like, yeah, you're wrong. Here's the actual sales numbers, and this is why you didn't get it. So, sorry, man.
Jesus.
But go ahead and blame it on everybody else.
So it's safe to say you ain't gonna be seeing him making a game anytime soon. Oh, Jesus.
Well, he's actually making another game at a different studio. So, yeah, you're gonna see it, but I don't know if anyone's going to want to buy it based off him bitching and complaining like this.
Much.
Do I even bother saying what studio he's working at or what he's working on? Is it worth it?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. Fuck that guy.
Pretty much. There's hundreds of people working on those games that don't deserve to get the flack because he's an asshole.
I'm glad the studio at least said something was like, yeah, no, screw him. We're happy. All right, before we have any more tech issues, you want to say bye?
Yes, let's cut it.
Before it's just me talking to the void again like we had before.
Jesus. Yes. Good night, everybody.
Wait, I'm not going to forget this time. We got to plug the socials. So we're on Twitter at Ramblepack Pod. Instagram, same thing, I believe. Ramblepack Pod. Or maybe it's Ramblepack Podcast. I think Ramblepack Podcast is Instagram. Ramblepack Pod is Twitter. We have a Facebook page, too, for the podcast. Just search Ramblepack Podcast. And obviously, if you're listening to us, you're on your listening platform of choice. Spotify, Apple, Google, all that fun stuff.
Until next time. You guys later.
Okay, say goodnight, Mike.
Night, Mike.
God damn it.